Hello guys, my name is Tirtho and welcome back to my YouTube channel. When I was in college, I always struggled to figure out that what is the right way to learn Python for data science. The thing is to learn Python for software engineering, for DevOps and for data science. They all have completely different paths. You really can't just starting learning it from randomly. Many people from non-tech background want to come into data science and the biggest problem that they are facing is programming. Now before I start the video, I just want to share that if you are feeling a little lost or just don't know from where to begin your career in the field of AI or data science, then I highly recommend you to watch my AI engineering roadmap video. It's going to be really helpful for you to understand the big picture and clear up your doubts. Now, before starting, I'm proceeding with two assumptions. The first one is that you already know that you will definitely need programming in data science. Data science is actually a combination of three things. Like the first one is mathematics, the second one is computer science, which means basically programming in computer science and a little bit of other tools like SQL, Power BI, Tableau, etc. The third thing is the domain expertise. So all three are very important to becoming a good data scientist. My second assumption is that you should know that in today's date, the most widely used programming language is Python. So I will explain the entire video from Python points of view. So now let's start the video. So step by step, I'll tell you what topics you need to cover, and along with that, I will also tell you how much time it may take you to cover those topics. The first part, you will have to learn Python basic syntax. There is no way to escape this part. If you are learning any programming language, you will have to be comfortable with its basic syntax. A basic syntax include that how to write a basic program. If you write a small programs like this, you will become comfortable with basic syntax. After that, you will have to learn operators. Now, what are operators? Operators are those that work on operands and give you some result. Now, there are many operators available in Python, like arithmetic operators, relational operators, logical operators, and a very special operator called membership operator. You will use those operators unconsciously many times while working in real data in data science. So it's necessary to know those operators and how they actually work. Next is if-else statement. Have you ever done programming at any level? You know that to give structure to a program or to give a control flow, you use if-else statement. Or to create branches, you use if-else statement. And even in the future, when you write even a small program, there you would see that you will use unconsciously if-else statement many times. Lastly, in basic syntax, one thing that you should know very well is loops. Basically, if you want to do something multiple times, you put it directly into a loop. There are two types of loop available in Python. One is while loop and another is for loop. Based on my personal experience, I can tell you that the while loop is not used that much, although you should know it, but the loop that is used the most is for loop. So you should practice a lot with the for loop. Also, you should know the nested loops, meaning how to run loop inside a loop, because you might fall into such situation, or sometimes when you look at someone else's code, it's possible that they have used nested loop there. Now, according to me, one last thing that you will have to study is function. Now, what are functions? You divide a large programming task into small chunks, and every small chunk is a function. So let's take an example. If you are making a website, then login is a functionality in it. So you will use to make a separate function for logging in, a separate function for registration. Might be possible you use to make a separate function for sign up. So in this kind of use cases, you use function a lot. So when you work in data science, you might have to make your own function in many places. So you will have to be comfortable with making function. Now, according to me, if you go to study the entire thing seriously and invested even 2 hours per day, then you will learn this entire thing in 2 to 3 days easily. After this, we come to our next step, which is the most important step, is Python data structure. And here you will have to learn 4 data structure: list, tuples or tuples, sets and dictionaries. Now I'm telling you, if you ask me what are the most important among these 4, then I'll say list and dictionary is the 90% of the time you will use in your work. So what do you have to learn in these 4 data structures? You have to learn how a data structure created, how to access it, how items are edited in it, and how they are deleted. You should know this operation on this 4 data structure. In my opinion, this phase is the most critical phase of your learning. The third step is advanced Python. Although there is a lot in advanced Python like decorators, generators, iterators, but for data science, you don't need to study all that. For data science, you only need to study 3 topics. First is object-oriented programming, that is OOPS. Here people have confusion about how much OOPS we should know. Should we know OOPS at a proper software engineering level? The simple answer is no. You just need to understand the basic working of classes and objects, like how to create an object of a class, how to access variables, how to call methods, what is inheritance. You just know these basic things. After this, you should know file handling, because after becoming a data scientist, you will deal with many types of files like JSON files, CSV files, Excel files. So you should know file handling. The third topic you will learn is exception handling. So you have to study these three topics in advanced Python. In my opinion, 3 to 4 days will be sufficient to study these three topics. Next is external libraries. So learning Python is not sufficient. In my opinion, you should learn two external libraries. The first is NumPy. Perhaps you may have heard this name. So NumPy is a library using which you can do a lot of linear algebra work using Python. Here there are many other mathematical functions using which you can incorporate concept of statistics in your workflow. There is a library even more important than this, that is Pandas. Pandas is used for data analysis, and without it, your work will not happen. Any project you pick up, the starting point, there will be a Pandas. So this is like oxygen for data science. You cannot live without it. You'll have to spend some time on these two libraries. And in my opinion, you can learn NumPy in 2 days, and Pandas, I guess 4 to 5 days are sufficient. So if you are coming up to this part and like my video so far, then subscribe the channel. It really helps a lot. One more thing that I think you should know very well when you are starting data science is how data is presented in programming. You should have an understanding of this. So let's say you have some real world data, some data of students, like what is their age, what is their gender, what are their marks, did they get placement or not. So how will you represent this kind of data in programming? This understanding is very important. Second, many times you will work with textual data, you will work with images, who knows, work with videos also. So in those kinds of scenarios, how the data is actually stored in programming and how it is manipulated, developing this understanding is also very important. Lastly, you will have to be comfortable with some data format. In the future, when you work with any data set, there is a high probability that the data set is in CSV format. So you will have to be comfortable with CSV format as well. It is basically an Excel file format. Also, if you are working with some APIs in the future, it is possible that you might also use JSON. So you will have to use JSON in the future. So be comfortable with JSON format as well. Some people have some doubts. And the first doubt is, do we need to learn data structure and algorithm to learn data science? Because whenever it is said to learn programming, it is always put in the same bracket that learning programming means learning data structure and algorithm. The good part is you don't need data structure and algorithm in your day-to-day job. But it doesn't mean you don't need to know DSA algorithm. Whenever you optimize your ML algorithm, you need to apply DSA knowledge. So you have to learn basic DSA like arrays, linked list, trees, sorting, stack, queues, etc. If you are starting to learn data science, don't miss this mistake of sitting down to do DSA first and keep doing that for 2 months, and after that you are entering to data science. Don't do that. The second doubt is that if we are learning programming, should we learn that programming language in extreme depth or not? The answer is there is no need. You don't need to go into depth questions like how Python stores variable in memory, or what is immutability, what is mutability, why Python is slow during execution. You don't need to answer this kind of questions. You are not going to be a software engineer. You are going to be a data scientist. You are taking programming as a tool. So when you start learning Python, the very first thing and the very trustworthy thing we will have is the official Python documentation. Everything I told you, and apart from that, whatever else is present in the Python, everything is present there in the documentation. Second, if I talk about books, I'll tell you one book that is, I feel, very good book, especially for beginners. The book is Head First Python. If you have ever read the Head First series on any topic, you would know that it is beginner friendly and try to explain concept to you through animations and cartoons. So this is a good book to learn Python for beginners. If we talk about a website, then I personally use a website a lot while learning Python, especially when I was studying in the beginning. The name of this website is Programmiz. It has a good tutorials given and examples are given very well. And the good part is, along with it, you will also get a Python environment to code. Apart from all of these, you can also refer to GFG, Geeks for Geeks. It has everything in proper format. You can also follow that one to learn Python. Obviously, you may find other thing on the internet. But for what I have told you so far, these learning resources will be sufficient to study Python for data science. Now come into the final advice. What would be my advice if you are starting to learn Python? The first advice would be don't just read. Meaning, if you just read how programming is done, then it will not work. Learning programming is a skill. Just like you cannot learn swimming just by reading a book, you'll actually have to jump into the water for that one. Similarly, to learn any programming language, you'll have to code. Second, don't make the mistake of picking up a book and starting to read it end to end. That will not work. Rather, I would recommend that you first complete the roadmap that I have given in this video. After that, enter data science. But for starting, don't make the mistake of thinking I'll become an expert in Python, then I will enter data science. Don't do that. Because data science doesn't need an expert Python developer. In data science, you just need a guy who knows how to work with Python, and the rest of his focus is entirely on data science problems. That's all for today, guys. I really hope this video gives you a clear idea how to kickstart your Python journey for data science. If you found value in this video, then please like, comment and share this video with your friends. See you next time.